over 70% of water that we can't drink because of underground water contamination. Underground water contamination affects so many lives all around the world, and we need to do something about it.
Underground water pollution is when the contaminants from above leak underground and into the system that supplies drinking and tap water. Over half of the U.S. relies on groundwater for their primary source of water. Groundwater is also the most important water source for irrigation, so when that is polluted, the crops are polluted, which means that they won't be healthy for your body.
Underground water pollution is a serious issue that affects the lives of a lot of people on the planet. The Earth is about 71% water, but from that amount, only about 2.5% is fresh water, or the water that we can actually consume. When that fresh water is polluted, the percentage for the water that we can drink goes down.
Groundwater pollution occurs when man-made products like gasoline, oil, road salts, and chemicals get into the groundwater system, which causes the water to be unsafe for human consumption. Drinking polluted water affects the health of anyone who consumes it. If the water has been contaminated by a possible septic tank leak, then you could get hepatitis, a disease involving the inflammation of the liver and/or dysentery, and infection of the intestines.
Things such as fertilizers, pesticides, soils, road salts, toxic substances from mining sites, and motor oil end up in groundwater. If these human-caused pollutants are the reason that we can't drink a lot of the water in the world, then we need to do something about it. We are essentially polluting ourselves, and then we complain about not having a bunch of fresh water. So, it's time to do something about it.
Some ideas to prevent underground water pollution are to reduce the amount of chemicals used on your property and don't let them soak into the ground. Replace toxins and chemicals and cleaning products for a more natural alternative. Properly dispose of potentially toxic substances. Use natural plants in your landscape that don't need any fertilizers. In places that have stored chemicals, check on the storage tanks regularly. For more information about how to be the change in putting an end to water pollution, go to www.groundwater.org for ways to protect and conserve groundwater.
We realize that, yes, it can be really hard to stop polluting if you are doing it for a business. But with all of the pollution, people and animals will get sick, and then it won't be worth it anymore. At the end of the day, lives are more important than how much money you make from a big sale. Because without those people buying them, there isn't really a point.
Exactly. We need to put what's really important first and end underground water contamination.
Doing it for a business. But with all of the pollution, people and animals will get sick, and then it won't be worth it anymore. At the end of the day, I realize that, yes, it can be really hard to stop polluting if you are doing it for a business. But with all the pollution, people and animals will get sick, and then it won't be worth it anymore. At the end of the day, lives are more important than how much money you make from a big sale, because of that. We realize that, yes, it can be really hard to stop polluting if you are doing it for a business. But with all of the pollution, people and animals will get sick. We realize that, yes, it can be really hard to stop polluting if you're doing it for a business. But with all of the pollution...
That was all you, Jessica.
Fix the page. I don't like being stupid. We realize that, yes, it can be really hard to stop polluting if you're doing it for a business. But with... I'm trying. I just see her in the corner of my eyes. We realize that, yes, it can be really hard to stop polluting if you are doing it for a business. But...
I was stone cold. I was thinking about dead cats.